Are you desperate for sleep? I found this article that was talking about trying sleep supplements to see what worked the best. Now, they particularly reviewed Let Me Sleep and another Ritual Sleep bioseries with time released melatonin. And I want to talk about sleep because this is one of the most common problems I see in my patients, specifically perimenopausal patients, because one of the first things to change in perimenopause is sleep structure. And that's for a variety of reasons. Your hormones are doing a number of funky things, but the lack of progesterone because of the inconsistent ovulation is one of the core reasons why women cannot sleep well during this stage. So let's actually talk about it. Some of these supplements that were tried in this particular review looked at herbal combinations. There was lavender and chamomile in some of these, and these are known to help relax the nervous system and bring you down so you can sleep. Melatonin was in another one of the supplements, and the person who tried it did note that they found that they were a little bit groggy in the morning and had some wild dreams. So, when it comes to sleep, the biggest and most important thing to note is that we have to understand why you're not sleeping before we determine what the treatment plan is. And so, off the top, some of the reasons why you might not be able to sleep can be hormonal changes, right? Some people find it hard to sleep in the second half of their cycle or the luteal phase because of a low progesterone situation. And a lot of people in perimenopause find it hard to sleep because of the changing estrogen levels, which changes their temperature regulation, which causes hot flashes and night sweats. And then also the combined level of not having enough progesterone because they aren't ovulating. So they're not making progesterone in that luteal phase. So in perimenopause, things worsen. And if we layer onto that a lot of people are stressed and they are tired but wired in the evening. And so they're exhausted all day long because they didn't get a good sleep. But then by the evening, they're wired and they get a second wind. And then they go to sleep and then they wake up at 2 to 4 in the morning. If that sounds familiar, that might actually be a cortisol problem. And so we have to figure out, is it hot flashes or night sweats? Is it hormone changes? Is it pain? Is it a nutrient deficiency? We know that you cannot have adequate deep sleep if you don't have enough magnesium. You can also suffer from things like restless leg syndrome, right? With a lack of magnesium, suffering from restless leg, adding magnesium can be the key component to that sleep structure and improving that, right? We have to take a look at your bedtime routine. Are you doom scrolling before you hop into bed? You're just on your phone on TikTok scrolling and then automatically expecting your body to fall asleep. That is not going to work. And so we have to understand the nervous system, the hormones, the nutrient deficiencies. Iron deficiency isn't going to allow you to get into a proper sleep. Thyroid issues can influence your ability to sleep. So we need to be looking at all of these things before we just jump to the sleep supplement and expect it to work. The other thing I will note is this product with melatonin actually has 5 milligrams of melatonin. And I find when people do melatonin, they often overdo it. In my patients, I do about 1.5 milligrams to 3. This product has 5 milligrams, which is quite a high dose. I even see patients and they're like, yeah, I take 10 milligrams before bed and I feel groggy in the morning. And here's a couple things about melatonin. Number one, it cannot be taken with other sleep medications or mood meds. It does increase the risk of serotonin syndrome. So if you're taking any antidepressants or any anxiety medications, please speak to your doctor before taking melatonin. The second thing is people take too high of a dose. Off the hop, I find people just dose it too high. The other thing is I will get the complaint that melatonin doesn't help them fall asleep. And in some cases it does. But if you think about it, if your nervous system is on high alert and you are running from a bear, your body is going to prioritize that. It is not going to prioritize sleep. And so we need to make sure that we're actually looking at what the root cause is to your poor sleep. And we need to turn down the volume of your nervous system if we want melatonin to work. So some of the combos I love are magnesium and melatonin in people who that makes sense and they don't have any medications that contraindicate with that. Because what we're doing is we're turning down the nervous system and then we're adding in that melatonin because, your body is wired so that you're not just going to create melatonin and pass out on the side of the road, right? We are meant for survival and safety. And if your body doesn't feel like you are in a state of survival or safety, then it is not going to allow you to sleep. The other thing is sometimes insomnia becomes habit. And so if your body is used to being in your bed, scrolling, working, watching TV, it's going to be really hard for you to get into that routine of sleep. So basic sleep hygiene can actually go quite a long way. When we look at cortisol supports, if you are feeling tired but wired, I love using products with ashwagandha that allow your body to actually re-regulate that cortisol spike. Most people I see think they have a high cortisol level. They're like, Laura, my cortisol's through the roof. When the reality is it's not that your cortisol is through the roof, it's that your cortisol is dysregulated, right? Maybe your cortisol curve actually peaks between 2 and 4 in the morning when it's actually supposed to be peaking at 8 in the morning. And so by the time the evening comes down, you're already winding down. Your cortisol production is already winding down. So you're feeling, exhausted. And then it starts to go up again as you're heading into the evening when you're supposed to be relaxing and sleeping. So if you have trouble sleeping, book a free call. Let's chat through why you might be having these issues. And if you have any questions or comments, you can comment below, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any new videos. We'll talk soon.